So hi everyone, and welcome to uh, our latest ambassador briefing here on Zoom. We will have three of my colleagues speaking and presenting today. First off will be Christina Brooks, and she will discuss our I Am a Kidney Voter video program. So Christina, without further ado, I will pin your video to the screen.
Thank you, Ben, and hello, everyone. It's good to see a mix of ambassadors and colleagues here on the call today. Just for a quick introduction before I get started, I am Christina Brooks, Associate Director of Social Media here at AKF, and for ambassadors, for a quick connection, I am the one helping Ben upload all of these briefings onto YouTube and making sure that you get all those resources in the Facebook group. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, awesome. All right, so today, as Ben mentioned, I'll be talking with you all about our next video storytelling project, which is telling Congress you are a kidney voter. Let's see, okay, great. So before we get into that, I do want to extend a really big kudos to all of the ambassadors who participated in our AKF annual Living Donor Protection Report Card video series, Fighting for Living Organ Donors. You can see we have Kathy, Jeremy, Tamara, and Adam here featured, but Alicia, who is on the call, also did share a video, so thank you so much for that. Just a quick note about sharing your story, especially in a video format. This has true impact. So we've had the report card going for a few years now, and in 2022, we had all positive state updates. For example, Louisiana became an A state, whereas Minnesota, Georgia, Virginia also became B states. And we also, as a collective with this campaign, were able to change the national average based on the AKF scoring for living donor protections from the national average from a D score to a C score. So as you can see, we're making a real impact here, and the momentum of the videos definitely drove us to really get the attention of a lot more people and lawmakers. And as you already know, this report card measures 7 types of living organ donor legislation. And we have, and I just want to say thank you to all of those who have been tweeting and posting and sharing about this effort. So by all of you, I mean all 17,000 and those who are super active in the Facebook group. So over 17,000 of you are working together on these legislations on the both state and federal levels to improve the lives of people with kidney disease. And I do want to underscore improving the lives of people, both with kidney disease and those who are affected by those. You're helping to make a great change as far as access to care and protections that really help us envision this world without kidney disease, which is AKF's mission. So let's get into I'm a Kidney Voter visual storytelling campaign. So Toga will be providing the step-by-step instructions on how to record your video, but it's really just a simple way for you to share your personal connection to kidney disease, raise some awareness of what Congress can do in the area of kidney disease legislation, and just help encourage others to share the same story that kidney disease is a top or should be a top priority for our elected officials. So you'll see some stats over there on the first side, and then on the second side, you will see a brief script that or something similar to that you will receive from our Toga team. So pretty much we'll start out just saying, hey, my name is, fill in your name, I'm a kidney voter. And then we want you to express why these issues are important to you as a kidney voter. So a chance to insert your connection and maybe some of your personal story or journey. And then one of the things that you've learned in kidney disease through your journey, and that we want you to underscore that kidney disease impacts all aspects of a patient's life. And then what you can do is insert some of the calls to action that we have available for you, such as the Living Donor Protection Act, but we do have a range of causes that we can get you behind, and I will talk about those in a minute. Finishing up that within your state, making sure that you highlight your state specifically so that we can direct this to specific lawmakers. And then there are some statistics that we can share with you across AKF that can help you really drive your message home. As far as timing for the video, we're not expecting it to be a long endeavor for you, probably a minute or so. You can look at those other LDPA videos as kind of a model, but they're pretty quick and to the point, and it's really just a way to put a face to this illness and help raise awareness. We do have available resources for you. So as I mentioned, there's some statistics in there and some ways that you can talk about our legislative priorities. Here is a quick list of ways that you can learn more about these issues and help you get comfortable as you record your video. So we do have the Take Action on Current Issues page where you can find the Kidney Voter Action Alert. We also have AKF Policy Resources webpage that offers so many downloadables and places to click around to help you get familiar. We also have a selfie training video that we can provide on request for those who have no experience in recording a video but would like to try it out. And then you're always welcome to provide your questions or comments or just any feedback in the group discussion on Facebook so that Ben, Eric, or myself can reach out and help you reach success. Some other things that you might not be aware of that are at your disposal. The first being is the kidneyfund.org newsroom. That's where we have all of our press releases, but our communications team is so incredible at providing a great, comprehensive, and very easy to digest information in those press releases. So it can really help you learn a lot more about some of our goals as an organization to help you talk about them, as well as our ambassador toolkits. And thank you again to all those showing up today on the monthly Zoom briefings. Ben has asked me to provide some quick video recording tips, and I could get into the weeds about composition and lighting, but a lot of those things don't matter as much, or they don't have as much weight now that we're looking into social media in a digital setting. The biggest tip that I can provide is just to be authentic and be yourself. There is no need to reinvent your story, no need to reinvent who you are, or try to change your look or feel. Your story already has power. So the best way you can do that is to find a quiet, comfortable setting that you feel your best in, that will help you tell the story in a very powerful way. For those who are new to telling their story, if you think you might get nervous or forget what you want to talk about, no problem. You can map out your points in any way that you want to. There is no one size fits all way to do this. Sometimes when I map out my talking points, I'll draw a cartoon, a little circle if it's a talking point I really want to drive home. But you can set this up as just like a piece of paper or a separate screen next to you, or even on your phone if you're recording on a laptop or camera. And again, you can record as many times as you want. That's something we encourage our ambassadors to do for the living donor videos, and it's something you're welcome to do here as well. If you feel more comfortable recording in sections, go ahead and do that, and then just have a conversation with Ben or reach out to me, and we can work on editing your video in a clean way. And the last tip, when you are recording, you're already feeling good, you're comfortable, you've got your talking points, now it's time to hit record. Make sure that you remind yourself to speak a little bit slower than normal and very clearly, because the biggest thing in this is the audio. That is one thing that we would like to get clear, that we can hear your story and we can follow your points across, because that's what's going to be the thing that is most captivating and really helps us to raise awareness of these issues. My favorite tip that I use is whenever I have some jitters, I sit down and I think of a best friend or a loved one that I would want to tell this story to or share my messages with, and I kind of practice that way. And it always kind of makes me feel a little bit more at ease and is a lot more relatable on camera. All right, coming down to the end of my time here, but there are some other great ways to get involved. The I Am a Kidney Voter video campaign is connected to our action alert, which is available on our website, and you'll see that right there in the image. So if you haven't already, we do encourage you to go ahead and send a digital message to your lawmakers or member of Congress that you are a voter. And it's a great first step to get involved and familiar with this initiative. If you also haven't, you can sign up for text alerts. We've got a great text system now that we are using to communicate directly with you and other advocates across the country. And to get involved with that, all you have to do is text kidney to 52886, and we will provide updates moving forward. Well, thank you so much for your time. As I lead out, again, Toga will be following up with specific instructions on logistics, timing, and where to send your recorded video. But you are also welcome to join AKF, highly encouraged to join AKF at upcoming in-person or digital events for more opportunities like this to capture and share your story. And with that, I will say thank you. And my email is there. Please feel free to reach out anytime.
Thank you, Christina. Okay, so I will turn it over to Martin now, who's going to talk a little bit about the 37-mile challenge. So Martin, give me a sec. I will make you a co-host here.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I'm going to share my screen now. Let's see if this works. All right, are you all seeing my screen now? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, I'm going to be brief, to be honest with you. I know I've come onto these calls. It's good to see so many familiar names, familiar faces. And I've talked about the 37-mile challenge before, so I'll just do so briefly, and then kind of show you what we have going on here in the month of October. So 37-mile challenge, if you haven't heard of it yet, it's a campaign that we've been doing for a couple of years now, where we invite people, individuals, and teams to come and try to walk or run 37 miles in the month of October. That may seem easy for some and extremely difficult or impossible for others, and that's totally fine. We chose 37 not as a physical challenge so much, more so just to kind of tie it into the 37 million Americans that are living with kidney disease. So we encourage anyone, no matter how many miles you think you may be able to do in the month of October, to join the group and the activity if you'd like to. I'll go through a few reasons why that may work for most people on the call. But that's essentially what the 37-mile challenge is. We have a few tools, which I'll dive into, on how we help people log those miles that they may be doing or their teams may be doing. And additionally to that, it's a fundraiser, obviously. So people are encouraged to create a fundraiser and help us raise money towards our collective goal of $120,000 for the month. So we're coming up on our start on October 1st. We have a couple days left where we're recruiting people and signing people up to participate. And I will drop the link into the chat. Let me do that now before I forget. So this is the link to the group. I just dropped it in the chat. So if you want to, you can click in and join the group. It's free to join. When you do come in, this is what you'll see. You'll see that we have about 8,000 members who are as a part of this community already, which is fantastic. More keep on joining every day. And then the first thing you'll see at the top is a featured section, which has some tiles that kind of are answering frequently asked questions or have important updates for people. We will have leaderboards and a fundraising thermometer to show how we are towards our goal. Other information like pictures of what the t-shirts look like. I'm actually wearing mine right now. I don't know if it'll show up on camera, but I'm wearing my 37-mile challenge t-shirt. This goes out to anyone who joins and raises $200, at least $200 for the campaign. And you'll see other stuff that you can scroll through, some fundraising tips and things along those lines. Also on the front page, you can see, and this is where it's really helpful for really anyone, regardless of whether or not they plan to walk. This is a great, a lot of people join this Facebook group. They'll post their stories. People will be able to comment and share their information, or really their knowledge, I would rather, about the subject. We have a lot of people who have like recently diagnosed loved ones, things along those lines, or maybe even recently diagnosed themselves. And they find this group and they use it as a way to connect. So everyone on this call will obviously have, whatever level of comfortability you have to be able to share your story or impart some knowledge, or just converse with people who are in the group. You'll see a lot of people will comment, with their stories, and people will follow up and comment and share their expertise as well. And you'll see also here, there's a link to a challenge hub, which is sort of our centerpiece for the campaign this time around. This is new for anyone who's been a part of this before. Challenge hub's a little bit different. When you click on that link, it's going to bring you to something that looks, well, it's now changed on me. It's going to bring you to something that kind of looks like this. And there's a couple buttons here, which would allow you to connect with us on Messenger, so you can receive messages and log your miles. You can view your fundraiser if you set that up, and then it also a link to get into the group as well. So I've lost my tab here. Here we go. And then once you click on that, you're going to be into Messenger with us here. So you can see that you'll have the challenge hub here where you can log your miles. You can join the group if you're not in the group yet, and you can visit our website and things along those lines. But right here in Messenger is where you can just simply type in menu anytime you want, and it'll bring up all that information. You can log your miles as you're walking and that sort of thing. This is just to kind of show a lot of what people post in the group. As I mentioned, we'll post fundraising tips and things along those lines, post the shirts. We have, our top fundraisers that we'll be posting. So we can obviously highlight the people who are doing really well and congratulate them on their success and what they're doing. And we have our fundraising thermometer that we'll be showing as well. And people will kind of post in the group as we start the walking in October. They'll post, maybe pictures from their walks, maybe with their pups, whatever they might want to do, take some selfies once they reach the mileage, which will have some a little filter that we give to everyone. So here's just a little example of that. We have that for crossing the halfway point and for also crossing the finish line. So even if you don't make it, but if you make it all the way, but make it halfway, you'll still get a filter you can share as well. So things along those lines. I just wanted to kind of share that. I know we've kind of talked about it before. And the last thing I'll touch on briefly is just what a fundraising page looks like on Facebook. If you join the challenge and click that link right there in the group, you'll get a fundraising page just like this. Some of you may know Ron. I chose him just because I know he's been a part of the ambassador community for a while. But you can set a goal. It doesn't have to be quite as ambitious as what Ron is working towards here. But anything you raise, your supporters will be able to click on that, view this, and then they can click this button to make a donation straight to your page. They'll even have the opportunity to make a comment down here with that, and you'll be able to see that too. So you can thank them, right there on your page, or you'll at least be able to see who's making donations to your page and that sort of stuff. So these are the tools that we have. We're really excited. This is technically our 5th campaign. that we're doing. So it's been a lot of fun. People have really enjoyed being a part of this community, and we really enjoyed having people join this community and really enjoyed seeing how it's continued to grow after each campaign. So again, the link to join is in the chat. If you'd like to join us, there's no cost and there's no expectation, but just the more the merrier kind of a situation. And regardless of if you do plan on walking and joining in that regard, or just being a part of the group and providing support to those walkers and fundraisers in any capacity, we'd be happy to have as many people join as possible. So thank you again for your time. I know some of the people on the call are already in the group and participating, so thank you for all of you who have joined. And I'll be around if there's any questions from anyone. So thank you.
Oops, sorry, I was muted. Thanks, Martin. And if anyone has any questions for Martin or myself, even after this Zoom, we'll be more than happy to speak with you and help out any way we can. Oops, there's a little echo there. Okay, so now I will turn it over to Jon, who has the distinct honor of being not only sort of director of state affairs for us, also my newest coworker in my department. So I'm sure that has been a professional and career highlight for Jon. I won't make him say it because he's very shy, so I'll say it for him.
And they were co-equal. It was right. It was neck and neck, really, honestly. So
Perfect.
You nailed it. Ben, thanks for having me on the call. Pleased to meet all you guys again. My name is Jon Hoffman. I'm the new Senior Director of State Policy and Advocacy. I'm a month and 3 days on the job, so I'm happy to finally get to meet a lot of you. I'll give you a little bit of background on myself. Previously I was at Food Allergy Research and Education, which is the largest group working on behalf of the 32 million Americans with a life-threatening food allergy. The numbers are close, the 32 and 37. So similar population, I think much different life struggles. But my biggest success there was getting to pass the FASTER Act, which added sesame to the list of major food allergens, which that doesn't necessarily sound like a big deal if you don't have a sesame allergy. But basically, if you had a sesame allergy that was life-threatening, it would never be labeled on the food you'd buy. So there was no way to find out if the things you were buying had sesame in them. Oftentimes, they would be under natural flavorings or spices on packaging. So you'd have no way of knowing. Sometimes you'd have to. So imagine if every time you wanted to buy a new food, you'd have to call Lay's and ask them, is sesame in this food? And sometimes they know and sometimes they don't. Anyway, passed that law last year. Very excited about that. The other favorite thing I got to do at that job and in previous jobs is get to work with advocates like you guys. My background is really trying to move people up the funnel from basically the email file up to where you guys are. So I've always enjoyed the whole continuity of the advocate journey. So people who don't know what they're doing necessarily, but just have a passion up to the point where you guys are at, where you've done the work before, you're interested, you're educated, you're on these calls, so you know what's going on and you're passionate and want to do more. And then our job, all of us here at AKF, are trying to find ways to plug you in so that you can do that and be effective and tell your story. So very excited to be joining the organization, excited to meet all of you. I'd love to know all of you more directly. So please, my email, I'll put it in the chat afterwards, but it's like theirs. It's jhoffman@kidneyfund.org. Love to know you guys on a one-to-one basis. Ben asked me to tell you sort of what we're doing for the rest of the year and going forward. As I mentioned, a month and 3 days, but I will tell you basically for the rest of the year, on the state side, it's kind of quiet. If you've done this before, you're aware of that. There's some states where pre-filing bills are possible. So we might be doing that. If you've worked on a bill in the past, please reach out to me. I want to know sort of what your experience was like. How did it go? Do you want to do something else again? I think that would be a really great way to sort of find out where we're at on that perspective. But if you're on this call and maybe somehow aren't on the email lists for your state members, so your assembly member, your senator, depending on which state you live, do that. That would be really helpful so that we, right now the state team is 1. It will soon be 2, hopefully, fingers crossed. But so it's possible that something could happen in the entire country that I'm not aware of And it would be great if there's something that's going on in your backyard, you hear about it and say, that sounds like something that we might want to work on together. If you're on those lists, you can ping any of us on the team, and then we can get started on that. And then next year, we're going to be working on a lot of the same things we were working on last year. So living donor protection is going to be a major legislative push. There's lots of states that have not passed that yet. So we'll be really pushing that in the states where we have not seen success yet. Medigap eligibility for ESRD is going to be another major one. I had a meeting yesterday, I guess it was yesterday, in Kentucky about this, sort of just trying to figure out how we can work with insurers to sort of allay their fears to make sure that ESRD patients are eligible to purchase Medigap. It's not the case in many, many states, and we think it's a pretty nailed on, easy case to make. It's just a matter of putting the numbers in front of legislators and in front of the insurance companies and making the case that the population size and the costs to the patient are much higher than the increase in cost to the providers. So I don't have the exact states we're going to be working on that yet, but that's really what we're going to be working on together. We're going to find out sort of where we're strong. I'm going to also be working with our team to try to build out our capacity in some of the states where we're a little light. So that's going to be another element. So where we don't have necessarily a rock star patient or advocate like you guys, we've got to identify one and build them through that process. So that'll be a lot of what I'm doing in the next couple of months as we roll into 2023. But all that said, happy to meet all of you. I'm looking forward to get to know you all a lot more closely and working with you for years to come.
Well, thanks, Jon. And with that, I will thank everyone for joining us. We will now have the Q&A time, but for YouTube purposes, thanks everyone for joining us. And then hopefully we'll have invitation out for October's pretty soon. So thanks everyone.